Zhao Zong appeared noticeably thinner, with graying hair and a posture no longer as upright. His demeanor couldn't hide a sense of desolation. Wang Xiaoyin sighed inwardly, surprised by how much a person could change in just 2 years. Indeed, time is a relentless whetstone. I didn't expect to see you again. You suddenly contacted me. What's the matter? Zhao Zong furrowed his brow, asking in a low voice. Wang Xiaoyin felt his impatience but got straight to the point. I'm sorry to disturb you, Zhao Zong. I have a favor to ask. Can you and your wife provide a statement confirming that we never had any relationship beyond that of a superior and subordinate? Zhao Zong was taken aback, studied Wang Xiaoyin for a moment, and then sneered, Wang Xiaoyin, you are quite interesting. We haven't been in touch for 2 years, and suddenly you want me to prove this. Do you think it's appropriate? Besides, how can I prove it? What do you need this statement for? Wang Xiaoyin replied, I apologize, Zhao Zong. I also feel it's not appropriate, but I'm out of options. Someone is bringing up old issues, spreading rumors about me, especially mentioning our unconventional relationship during my time working under you. This has seriously affected my normal life, but I can't find an effective way to prove my innocence. I thought that if you and your wife could say a few words on my behalf, it would be more convincing than me trying to explain it on my own. Zhao Zong downed half a glass of water, wiped his mouth hastily with the back of his hand, and scoffed, my wife and me? He let out a deep sigh, leaned back in his chair, and continued, my wife and I have divorced, and we have no intention of maintaining any contact. I don't have the time or interest to help you with this trivial matter. Moreover, the rumors involve both you and me, so it wouldn't be appropriate for me to handle it personally, right? Wang Xiaoyin looked at Zhao Zong awkwardly, saying, I'm sorry, Zhao Zong. I also think it's not appropriate, but I'm in a difficult situation. Now that you've told me about your divorce, I didn't know. Zhao Zong waved his hand, signaling her to stop. My ex-wife still has a beauty salon over on Pingyuan Street. You can try reaching out to her. Her involvement might be more suitable. Having said that, Zhao Zong finished the remaining water, stood up, and left. Pingyuan Street was the most bustling commercial street in the area, and Zhao Zong's ex-wife, Hong Jia, had a well-positioned beauty salon there, operating for many years. When Wang Xiaoyin arrived at the salon, Hong Jia was about to leave. They ran into each other in the lobby, and to Wang Xiaoyin's surprise, Hong Jia recognized her and scrutinized her expressionlessly. She asked, You're Wang Xiaoyin, right? Wang Xiaoyin nodded, Yes, I am. Hong Jia inquired, What do you want from me? Wang Xiaoyin felt somewhat embarrassed. Hong Jia, I have a favor to ask. Are you available? Hong Jia thought for a moment and then took Wang Xiaoyin into her office. Wang Xiaoyin explained her situation and anxiously awaited Hong Jia's decision. She didn't expect Hong Jia to agree quite readily. All right, no problem. But I'm curious, who do I need to prove this to? Wang Xiaoyin was somewhat embarrassed, my boyfriend's family. Hong Jia raised an eyebrow and remarked, Forgive me for being blunt, but someone who needs self-verification like this probably isn't up to any good. Even if you provide evidence to silence them, they'll still doubt you in their hearts. They just look down on you, that's all. Wang Xiaoyin replied, I understand. My boyfriend's family doesn't have a good opinion of me, and his sister found out about the old rumors through friends. They have been circulating widely. To be honest, I don't care much about the future of this relationship, I just can't swallow this. Hong Jia's gaze fixed on Wang Xiaoyin's clenched fists, and she nodded, All right, what do you need me to do? You can come to me anytime. Wang Xiaoyin said, Thank you, Hong Jia. I didn't expect you to be willing to help me. Hong Jia replied with understanding, I assume you've already approached my ex-husband, right? After all, he was your former boss, and he didn't agree, did he? Wang Xiaoyin nodded, That's right. Hong Jia smiled and looked at her with a touch of amusement. He wouldn't be able to help you even if he wanted to. To be honest, the reason we got divorced, in the end, was you. Wang Xiaoyin's eyes widened, What? Hong Jia squinted her eyes and said, Back in the day, there were rumors that you and my ex-husband were involved in a romantic affair, and those rumors were quite detailed. At the time, I was still his wife, and I couldn't just let it slide. So, I hired a private investigator to look into your relationship with him. Wang Xiaoyin was getting anxious and replied, There was nothing between me and Zhao Zong, we were completely innocent. Hong Jia continued, Of course, there was nothing between you two. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be speaking with you today. But he had something with someone else. Wang Xiaoyin hesitated and said, Oh, I see. Hong Jia explained, it was a bit of a lucky break, I suppose. I initially wanted to investigate you and him, but it turned out he was involved with another woman. I gathered enough evidence and then filed for divorce, taking half of his assets. Later, I heard that his company's finances were in shambles, and he was drowning in worries. His little affair drained a significant sum from him before she vanished. He's not doing well now, and to some extent, it's related to you. Even if you haven't done anything wrong, human nature is as it is. He probably resents you and would never help you. Wang Xiaoyin was left in stunned silence. Hong Jia continued, as for me, I'm doing quite well now, with money and leisure. I'm even better off than before the divorce. In a way, if it wasn't for you, I might never have seen his true colors. So, if he won't help you, I'm willing to assist. Wang Xiaoyin had a lot on her mind and simply said, thank you. 2 days later, on a Saturday, Wang Xiaoyin, accompanied by Hong Jia, arrived at her boyfriend Zhou Wenxuan's home just before dinner. Zhou's family was all present, and their faces displayed various expressions. His parents seemed displeased, his sister couldn't hide her disdain, Zhou Wenxuan looked embarrassed, and he asked Wang Xiaoyin in a soft voice, why are you here, and who is this? A witness, Wang Xiaoyin replied, a witness who can confirm my innocence. This is Zhao Zong's ex-wife, my former boss's wife. In the moment Zhou Wenxuan was still bewildered, Wang Xiaoyin entered the room and spoke to the 3 people sitting at the dining table. Even if you all dislike me, you shouldn't spread false rumors about me or defame my character. Today, I want to prove my innocence, and I request an apology from all of you. The 3 members of Zhou's family showed expressions of disdain. Hong Jia stepped forward, threw some documents on the table, and said, I am the ex-wife of the central figure in these rumors. You can take a look at these, divorce certificates, family photos from the past, and even the divorce agreement. I conducted an investigation at the time, and Wang Xiaoyin genuinely wasn't my ex-husband's mistress. They only had a normal boss-subordinate relationship. So, friends, a friendly reminder, spreading rumors is against the law. Surprisingly, Zhou's family members began flipping through the documents that Hong Jia had thrown on the table. Wang Xiaoyin stood a little further away, enduring the scrutinizing gazes of Zhou's family. Zhou Wenxuan reached out and gently held her hand, whispering, why take it this far? I told them I would talk to them. By doing this, what will you do in the future? Wang Xiaoyin smiled faintly, saying coldly, have all of you finished looking at the documents? Now, please apologize to me. Zhou's mother replied, apologize for what? You've come here suddenly, saying these strange things and bringing a stranger into our home. Don't you think you're being very ill-mannered? Zhou's father added, this is utter nonsense. Zhou's sister chimed in, who spread rumors? Who is defaming you? Don't you think causing such a scene makes you seem suspicious and desperate? Wang Xiaoyin nodded and said, all right, since you all feel that way, I won't be polite. I have thoroughly prepared before seeking justice. Let me remind you, finding the source of rumors is not difficult. By tracking the last person who spread the rumors, it's only a matter of time, effort, and money. And if I can't find out, there's always the police. The expressions of Zhou's family members suddenly changed. Zhou's mother asked, you've reported this to the police? Wang Xiaoyin replied, I was planning to. Zhou's sister exclaimed, you are truly out of your mind, making a fuss over such a trivial matter. Thankfully, you haven't married into our family. Wang Xiaoyin replied, I'd advise you all not to be too stubborn. I've collected quite a few screenshots of WeChat group chats. There are no secrets that can't be uncovered. Don't think I'm unaware of what you've been saying about me behind my back. Uncle and aunt are respected retired teachers, and sister, you have a stable job. Did you ever consider that your actions might come back to haunt you in the future? Zhou Wenxuan, growing anxious, grabbed Wang Xiaoyin's arm and said, enough. Do you still want to marry me? How will we all get along after causing such an ugly scene? Wang Xiaoyin forcefully shook off Zhou Wenxuan's hand and said, then let's not get along. Zhou's family members wore expressions of disbelief. Wang Xiaoyin shouted, I know my qualifications are lacking. I know you are the best match I could find. I know I'm reaching beyond my league with you. I know that marrying you can change my fate and help me settle down in the city. But that doesn't mean you can bully me or slander me at will. I've been enduring all of you, but now I don't want to anymore. Why should I let you control me? We can just break up. I genuinely don't care anymore. I don't want to live feeling so stifled. After her outburst, the room fell into silence. Zhou's father sighed and said, all right. It's not worth it for such a small matter. If you want an apology, we'll apologize to you. Is that sufficient? You need to have a broader mind and not act so petty. Zhou Wenxuan again tugged on Wang Xiaoyin's arm, hoping to remind her that there was already a way out, and she should take it. Wang Xiaoyin tried to maintain her composure but couldn't control her emotions. Many past grievances rushed back, making it hard for her to let go. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she cried silently, as if trying to wash away all the humiliation she had endured over the years. Zhou's family remained silent. Hong Jia, standing behind Wang Xiaoyin, patted her on the shoulder and advised, "I believe you've achieved your goal. It's better to leave it at that. Don't waste more time on something unworthy. Think about what you want for your future." Wang Xiaoyin slowly relaxed her clenched fists and, once her emotions were under control, she looked into the void and stated firmly, "Apart from my reputation, I want nothing else." She gazed in the direction of the dining table and continued, "I'm going to sue you all. Starting now, Zhou Wenxuan and I are breaking up, and I won't allow you to belittle me anymore. In the past, you slandered me, and I won't let you off the hook. Now, I don't care who you are, you must pay for your words and actions. If I don't get the results I want, I will escalate this matter, so that everyone can see the hypocritical nature of so-called intellectuals like you." Afterwards, Wang Xiaoyin rushed out of Zhou's family home. She didn't wait for the elevator and instead entered the fire escape, hurrying down the stairs. As she descended, the motion-activated lights illuminated her path one by one, guiding her way. Due to poverty and a life of hardships, she had endured nearly 30 years with pent-up frustrations. At this moment, she was overwhelmed with a sense of release, even to the point of feeling that she could die content. She had had enough of stepping back, of the vastness of the sea and the boundlessness of the sky, of people needing to be more practical, of managing her life, of enduring humiliation and bearing burdens, of striving to change her social status. She had had enough of everything. In life, one should enjoy, and one should not be bullied by others. As Wang Xiaoyin prepared the materials for her lawsuit, she unexpectedly received a call from Hong Jia. Hong Jia advised her to let it go, whether or not she would marry Zhou Wenxuan in the future, to just let it go. Wang Xiaoyin asked, "Why?" Hong Jia explained, "Because it's not worth it. I'll tell you the truth. Back then, when you and Mr. Zhao didn't come forward to clear things up, it was only because you were used to protect his real lover, who was also someone from your company. By shifting the focus to you, his real lover was less likely to be discovered. So you need to look ahead and not let this matter tie you down. Consider that even if you win in the end, what will it change? Others will at most offer a light apology, but deep down, they won't truly accept it. Even if it might affect their lives, it's just a minor inconvenience. You, on the other hand, will forever be known as the woman in the yellow rumor. As long as that identity remains, there will always be doubters. The woman in the yellow rumor. Those 4 words gently tapped Wang Xiaoyin's heart, slowly cracking a thin shell. The fragments peeled away, revealing her past. She had been avoiding it, evading it, but in the end, she looked back. Many people thought that her current determination was only for the sake of her reputation and innocence. Only she knew that she was not just doing it for those reasons. She was settling an old score. It was an old score that couldn't be easily calculated. The year she graduated from university, she arrived in this city with a simple bag to make a living. She was so naive, thinking that as long as she worked hard in her job and was sincere in her friendships, she would be fine. She didn't yet know that some people would casually unleash their malice. Then, she was ridiculed for her accent, looked down upon for her attire, discriminated against for her background, isolated for her poverty, and bullied for her honesty. She fell into deep confusion, constantly self-reflecting, looking for her own problems, benchmarking against the people around her, trying to become like them. But no matter what she did, she was always disliked and shunned. Even when rumors circulated at the company that they were optimizing the workforce, everyone's first thought was her. She herself believed that if real optimization were to take place, she would unquestionably be the first to go. She gradually understood that in this world, in every big circle and small circle, there would always be someone placed at the very bottom of the food chain. Unfortunately, she had been assigned there, to be the outlet for everyone's malicious venting. The method to change this situation was not to exchange genuine kindness for kindness, not to be moved by one's efforts, but to make people wary of her, to make them afraid of bullying or excluding her. An opportunity presented itself soon after. That time, Mr. Zhao led a team on a business trip, and they needed someone to handle miscellaneous tasks. It was an undesirable job, and nobody wanted to do it. The supervisor arranged for Wang Xiaoyin to accompany them. On the evening of their arrival at the destination, Mr. Zhao and other colleagues drank heavily at the welcoming banquet. Wang Xiaoyin was tasked with sending everyone back to their rooms. After escorting Mr. Zhao to his room, he opened his laptop and asked her to stay and organize some data. Then, he went to the bathroom and began vomiting uncontrollably. Seeing his condition, Wang Xiaoyin prepared a hot fruit tea and a hangover remedy. After he had taken the medicine and rested, she didn't leave. For one, she hadn't finished organizing the data, and she didn't dare take Mr. Zhao's laptop and documents to her room. Secondly, she was concerned that if he fell asleep and choked on his vomit, she would be held responsible, so she wanted to look after him a bit longer. But she was extremely tired and accidentally fell asleep. When Mr. Zhao woke up the next day, he saw himself neatly dressed and lying on the bed, while Wang Xiaoyin was neatly dressed and slouched over the table, surrounded by piles of documents and an open laptop. Wang Xiaoyin was awakened and looked embarrassed as she explained why she had slept there. Mr. Zhao didn't say much and gestured for her to leave. Wang Xiaoyin left somewhat disheveled, and it was fate that as she closed the door, she saw a colleague from the room across the hall staring at her in shock. At this crucial moment, she should have explained and clarified, but with a thought, she sealed her lips, only tidying her messy hair and clothes before awkwardly making her escape, leaving that colleague with ample room for imagination. After that business trip, rumors about her and Mr. Zhao began to circulate. The rumors were hurtful, and many people couldn't believe that someone of Mr. Zhao's caliber would be interested in someone like her. She felt anxious, waiting for Mr. Zhao to step forward and clarify the situation. However, Mr. Zhao remained silent. She had many opportunities to explain, but each time she choked on her words. Since Mr. Zhao hadn't said anything, she could choose to remain silent. She found many reasons for her actions, such as letting things cool down, or even if she explained, not everyone would believe her. But deep down, she knew she didn't want to speak up. She felt a distinct change in people's attitudes towards her after the rumors began. Most importantly, both overtly and covertly, her superiors hinted at the impending optimization of her position, and they became visibly more attentive. Imagine being the leader's lover, who would dare to bully her? Even if it didn't look like a real affair, who could say for sure? Perhaps Mr. Zhao simply liked that inexperienced and awkward style? In any case, it was better to be cautious. Perhaps her colleagues still secretly looked down on her, but at least on the surface, they dared not do so anymore. She kept her job, and no one scolded her when she was occasionally late. Some colleagues helped her with her workload, and when female colleagues shared snacks, she received her fair share. She even received a slightly higher bonus than others for the first time. Compared to her improved circumstances, the gossip behind her back and restroom chatter became less significant, because the fact that they now secretly feared her was enough. As for why Mr. Zhao let it slide, Wang Xiaoyin didn't care to investigate. She only knew that her life was getting better. She wasn't a shameless person, and if all it took was a small sacrifice of her reputation to step up in life just a bit, she was willing. She hadn't actually become Mr. Zhao's mistress, and even the initial rumors had arisen from a misunderstanding, not to mention she wasn't the one spreading them. What had she done wrong? Upon careful reflection, she was just an innocent victim. Wang Xiaoyin continued to live with the label of alleged mistress of Mr. Zhao for some time. Later, she came across a good job opportunity and decided to leave the company that had caused her so much torment, a place where she had to sacrifice her reputation to make her life a little better. Perhaps it was a turn of fate, and she began to adapt to the city's pace, changing herself in the process. As she gradually grew stronger, she started to regret her past. She regretted not standing up for herself back then, and she regretted not clarifying the situation in time. Instead, she had secretly enjoyed the benefits of the rumors. People have moments of weakness, and most of the time, you can grit your teeth and get through them. However, she had taken a hypocritical shortcut and, because of that momentary lapse, she had planted mines for her future. The more she thought about it, the more it felt like the consequences of her own actions coming back to haunt her. Now, in this lawsuit, Wang Xiaoyin was determined to fight. She wasn't as single-minded as Red Sister had imagined. She just wanted to find her former self. The person she had been forced to become, the person she had reluctantly and shamefully abandoned. It had nothing to do with Mr. Zhao, his actual lover, or with Zhou Wenxuan and his petty family. It was for herself. She wanted to comfort her former self from a distance, to disdain her former self, and to rebuke her former self for those guilt-ridden years. It was time to put an end to those unsettling times. So she was going to Su Zhou's family, and regardless of the final outcome, she could at least make her stance clear after many years of hesitation. The time machine seemed to transport her back to that morning, and she saw her colleague from across the hall. She finally spoke the words she should have said back then, "I spent the whole night organizing the data." It also felt like it was taking her back to many moments from her past. She heard the rumors, and no matter how trivial they seemed, she would always say, "Stop spreading rumors about me," instead of letting the rumors ferment while she suffered in hypocrisy. As the saying goes, you reap what you sow. Now, she wanted to uproot the seeds of her own weakness and find the peace that her life should have had.